Yeah, so then the next 20 minutes is about writing this whole history, what you have taken from the patient. You write the whole history of the patient, and you also suggest your diagnosis and your therapy plan about the patient. And then in the end, the last 20 minutes is the asked Gespräch. That is, the examiner will put questions to you related to the case, and then you will have to answer these questions. So now it is very important to exactly know the format of the examination in your state. This is just to say that most of the states have the same pattern, but then something or the other may vary. For example, I took the exam in Bayern, and in Bayern you get 20 minutes additional for Bereitungszeit before the exam. So before these, the first 20 minutes for the history which you take with the patient, before that you get 20 minutes to get yourself familiar with everything, whatever is there in front of you. There will be the Anamnesebogen, there will be the radiographs, the photos. So in Bayern you get these 20 minutes. But then, for example, in Münster, these things are not there at all. You don't get anything. You don't get a radiograph, you don't get any photos. So then what matters is you just ask more and more questions. So when you get photos and when you get radiographs from the patient, it is relatively easier. You can direct targeted questions. But when you don't get them, then the whole thing changes and you straight away have to ask questions, because to come to a diagnosis, because you don't have any radiograph and photos, which is to you, lots of questions need to be asked. So make yourself very much familiar with the pattern of the examination in your state. For example, in a state, in NRW, in Düsseldorf, one gets the OPG, and in Münster one doesn't. So be familiar with the pattern is what I mean. In Düsseldorf and Münster, for example, you also have this thing. I don't know if that is in some other states or not, but in these two, Zahnärztekammer, you will also get 10 words. These are the Fachbegriffe, and you need to write about them in short, but you need to write about them. What does this mean? For example, attrition, what does that mean? So you have to write whatever attrition means in short, but you do have to write it. So make yourself familiar what I meant. Then the third point is the difficulty level of the exam. Now this is something which is very subjective, and I do not want to go into it because it is perceived differently by each one of us. In some states exam may be relatively simpler, easier. In some states may be difficult. That is for you to decide. So in this, no one can rather help you. One can only give you suggestions, but then you are the one who needs to decide. So so make an informed decision, I would like to say. Then for example, I just like to add one point if it helps you. In Bayern, it's relatively easier, and also I say this because I talked with the examiner after the exam, and he told me that the passing rate in Bayern is 70%. So I am just going with this info that if the passing rate in an exam is 70%, I would say it is relatively easier then. So yeah, so that was about the Fachsprachprüfung and the format and the difficulty level of the exam. So now we come to the fourth point, one point which comes repeatedly in different forums is the Fachsprachprüfung from one state acceptable in other states? So the answer to that is yes, it is acceptable in all states when the exam is conducted by the Zahnärztekammer in one state.